Hey there, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jamie, and we're your co-hosts for Two Clicks in a Pod.
Join us as we explore our missed times, stories, and memories due to divorce and a 1,000-mile separation.
I can't wait. You ready to get into it, Kev?
I am. Hey, Jamie, you think you're going to swear?
Oh yeah, consider yourselves warned.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was told I was a little soft yesterday, so I fired this fucker up and we're going hard.
I love it. I love it. Go hard or go home, as they say.
Are you seeing me kind of peg out on the yellow today? I see the yellow. So she was saying I was a little bit soft.
Dad, you're
I
never soft.
like how you get in your formal attire and I get my casual attire.
Well, what do you consider to be formal?
Well, you know, I just want to apologize. Number one, I was so out of my element yesterday. I don't know what was going on, but I think it was a hurried up rush to get home from the boat. 4 beers at the marina, which don't make me happy and jolly like 4 glasses of wine at home. And then
you needed to hit the Chardonnay.
The Sauvignon Blanc.
No, I mean, it's like I said, I just think that obviously it was the first one and we'll get it down. We'll get the flow.
Yeah, but you did perfect. I thought you were very natural. You kind of made me a little envious because I knew that's where I normally like to be and just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just a little foreign to me. So,
well, here's the deal. You can always interrupt. I may not listen. And it'll be good. We're going to keep the flow going. And, I mean, here's the thing, too. It was funny when Kelsey said, oh, here it is. If you want to watch it. I was like, I was like working. And I always keep my personal email up while I'm working just because, I can't stand for, it's one of, actually, I'm curious if you are this way. I can't stand for my inbox to get like too full, right? I get super
I check
anxious.
it all the time to just
Constant.
throw all the shit away all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
It occupies my day, actually. So,
well, so to the point where I've got friends that'll show me on their phone like the count of the unread emails and text messages. And they're in like the thousands. And I'm always just like, oh, fuck no. Like
I would think I'd be missing something important.
Yeah, 100%. Or just like maybe that's the anxiety I have. If what am I not doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I ordered you a catechism, by the way.
Oh, I saw that. And I know what I wanted to ask you. So you said the other day that that you got me a birthday present.
Have you gotten it?
Well, I have to share with our listeners that you historically are probably, and don't get offended. Are you ready?
Yep.
You are the weirdest gift giver ever.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Like, weird/bad. Okay,
I have heard that from one girlfriend in my recent history, but never my current one. So there you go.
Well, you're doing something right. So, Dad, I got this package today.
Yeah? Did you put it together?
Well, okay. So you're helping me here. So I opened this up. And I was like, what is this? So the first one I opened, and I'm wondering if you can't see it on the video, we'll post these pictures when the episode goes live. Okay. So can you see this at all? So this is like a dog, right? Do you see it? No?
No, there's something going on with the reflection on it.
Oh, wait,
I know
check
I know what it looks like.
Okay, and it's got a little groove in it. So
yeah, you put your phone on it.
Cell phone holder. Okay. And this is supposed to be Brady.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And it's
I
just
can't.
so-
Where's the actual stat? Where is it at home?
yeah, it's at home.
Well, you didn't bring it for show and tell.
I took pictures.
Well, it's not showing up very well.
I'll post. the
Hold,
pictures.
hold it.
At
Hold,
this-
hold
thi-
it back. Hold it back.
Oh,
Hold it
that-
further back.
You have to be able to see this.
Yeah, I see him now. I do. Yeah.
So, do they all go together, or is and what is this one supposed to be?
That
It's
is
just-
you kissing him. That's a female kissing his dog, kissing her dog. I thought it was crazy. The male looked better, but I didn't want to buy it because he's bald. So I bought you. That's the female hair whip.
But are you making fun of me because of how much I love the dog?
No, I thought that was a really unique gift, and that's the reason I bought it. I searched
it.
high and low for that. I mean,
Okay.
who else
Oh,
is going to buy that for you? Just
nobody.
me.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Well, thank you, Dad. I appreciate it. It's on my desk at home. And I do love the cell phone holder thing. That aspect.
Okay. Will
Yeah.
you use that? You can mount it.
Absolutely.
You can mount it to the dash of your car and put it up there.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that. Hey, I thought that was pretty unique.
Here's the
I
deal.
was not real impressed with the actual female caricature, though. No.
The hair's a little crazy, but the
Well, it was a windy
craftsmanship-
day. It was a windy day. Better yet, you don't wash your hair but every 2 weeks. That's about what it looks like at the end of week 2.
once a week, which there's
Okay.
there's a story there. So I do like it. I appreciate it's extremely thoughtful. I just didn't have. You told me last week. Oh, your birthday present's on its way. I can't wait. I think you're gonna love it. And so just historically, I was like, I could not even venture to guess what this is going to be. So I never would have guessed this. Very thoughtful. Very thoughtful.
You will learn to love it.
I do love it. I do love it. So,
You can make fun of that on the podcast,
well, we're
but
on
you'll
the
have to have the living. You'll have to show how it actually looks because it doesn't do justice in the actual. Is it about that big?
Oh no, I mean it's 3 inches high. The girl standing over the dog.
Well, he was real proud of what he gets for him. So that's all I can say.
Well, I bet. I mean, no. Does he whittle these? Is that the right word?
Whittle?
To whittle?
No, he cuts them out of a scroll saw.
Oh, what does
I
that
can
look like? Show me that later.
It's like a little If you were artsy craftsy, you were in Girl Scouts. You probably don't remember.
No, I
but
was in Girl Scouts 1 year.
There you go.
Don't. I'll tell that story. That's a great story. I'm gonna write that
All
down.
right,
So
Mark,
I don't
write
forget.
that down.
Write that down. That was
A
brown.
scroll saw is what you cut little artsy things. It's a blade that's about the size of.
I thought that was called
It's bigger than floss, but not much. So
Okay.
you can actually take a small thin piece of wood and circularly cut patterns in it. You could never
Okay.
cut that stuff out with a jigsaw or it's got to be a scroll saw.
I was
And a lot
thinking jigsaw.
right now
but-
they probably no, jigsaw's too large for that.
Okay.
They probably cut that out of some sort of a laser cutter or a plasma cutter. Not plasma, but
the
you
laser.
can cut it out of other stuff right now. But
The laser. The laser.
they actually move a laser around to cut stuff out now.
Right. Or you hear die cut a lot. That's what that cricket
That's
machine
probably
is, right?
a die cut. That could be a die cut.
There you go. You liking that? Okay, so here's my question for you. Because you haven't said anything. You brought up my hair. Do you
Mhm.
notice anything different about my hair?
It looked better yesterday.
Well, you know why? Because
You washed it.
I washed it. And then I worked out today.
Yep.
And yay. And the gym was so
You had the whole Lanny Wilson look yesterday. Now it's back over your shoulders
No,
and
I
it's
can
hanging
pull
on your
forward.
back.
I can pull
There you go.
forward. Well,
Oh
here's
yeah,
the-
but
yeah, but you didn't. Okay. Anyways, I washed it yesterday. So I wash my hair once a week because you don't need to wash your hair more than that. It's not good for your hair.
Mm-hmm.
but I washed it yesterday for it to look nice. And then today I went to the gym for my workout, and it's finally getting warm up here, thank God. And they run air conditioning in the gym, but not low enough. So I was in the middle of my workout, and I mean, we're talking the first 10 minutes, and I was just sweating my ass off. I mean, just sweat. And Eric, my trainer, I told him, I was like, dude, it's really hot in here. And I go, I don't remember signing up for hot yoga. Like, this is crazy. And he's like, you'll be fine. You're fine. And I said, I just washed my hair yesterday. And he looked at me, he goes, what does that matter? I go, it matters because I only do it once a week. And now it's, as you called it out, it already is not looking as nice. So thank you for that. But is there anything else that you notice? Anything at all?
Well, I knew it was a different color.
Yes. Okay. You never said anything.
Well, yeah, I knew that I liked it better yesterday.
Okay. As you've said multiple times.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of Lanny Wilson, I'm going to have to buy my girlfriend a VIP pass to meet that woman. She thinks that she is so enthralled about Lanny Wilson and how cool of a chick she is. And better yet, I think she calls it right. That girl is going to be the next Dolly Parton.
No, that's, first of all, I love Suzanne, but no. Will never, well, because, come on, there will never be another Dolly Parton.
How about a Reba McEntire?
Well, no.
No?
Why can't
you
she
never know.
No.
How about a Carrie Underwood?
I think someone could be the next Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, okay. That's maybe
I'll
achievable.
Give her that. I'll give her that. But no to Dolly. Which, by the way, did you ever listen to that podcast I told you about, Dolly Parton's America?
No.
Shout out to Dolly Parton's America, the podcast. Check it out. It's awesome. It is so good. That was one of the ones that the girls and we all listened to. And, well, we just love Dolly. But it's really good. So you should listen to that. And then just also Reba. No. Speaking of Reba, did you watch the Super Bowl, right?
I watched the finals of The Voice last night. It's where I saw Reba last. I cannot find my pants. Where are my pants? Oh, there they are.
So you didn't watch the Super Bowl?
I watched this. Dolly, yeah.
And
with
and Reba sang the national anthem.
Who was in the Super Bowl this year?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, I watched the Super Bowl. Yes.
San Francisco 49ers. Do you know who won?
Yep.
Do you know?
Well, the Chiefs did.
Well, and why do you think the Chiefs won?
A bad call?
No. Well, if you lived in this house, meaning Mimi and Papa's house, it would be because Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Papa is convinced it's a conspiracy.
So Dolly Parton, what's the podcast name? Dolly Parton on America?
Dolly Parton's America. It's great.
America.
It's great.
Okay.
So I guess, so that's that. I was curious if you had noticed.
Hey, we're blowing our ketchup version right now because this was all good ketchup stuff. So
no, we are catching up. I'm recording.
Hey, I wanted to show you something.
Yeah, but no, seriously though. Sorry, back to me. On my
you know who
hair.
That is?
No, Dad, stop for a second. Seriously.
That's Peter Clark.
Oh, okay. Do you like the darker hair?
No.
You don't. Okay.
I'm a light-haired, blonde-headed guy.
Well, I do know that. Well, that will come up in future episodes.
Yep. Kind of runs in strange patterns.
Well, what's funny is what I've always heard friends of mine will say about you, other than my mom. Everyone has always said, "Well, your dad definitely has a type."
I'll admit to that.
Yeah.
I'll admit to that.
Yeah. More to come. So, okay, that I just was curious. It's okay that you don't like it as much. I'm liking it. It's darker, but I like it. It's so much healthier. It's so soft and just Like,
Sounding like the girls there. Yesterday, when you started getting on the whole health kick, I was going to ask if you guys sat around and talked about yoga, or not yoga, but yogurt.
we have.
Do you have yogurt? Do you have
Oh.
yogurt conversations?
They are okay. So,
Is Greek yogurt the best yogurt, as they all proclaim it to be?
well, because there's protein in Greek yogurt. So if you're gonna eat yogurt, so I
ate a regular yogurt today, and it said it had protein.
Well, it's not as high though. Greek yogurt has more protein. Here is, I mean, just disclaimer: I am not a nutritionist, obviously, but first of all, to the girls, my friends are mostly non-dairy. I mean, they're not a lot of dairy, not a lot of carbs. They're very fit women. I, on the other hand, I'm just kind of like, I don't eat a lot of dairy, but I'll eat dairy. Anyways, so if they're going to go with a yogurt, which is very unlikely, they're going to go with the Greek yogurt because it has higher protein. They're all about the protein. No, legit, half and half. Half and half is the only thing I have to have every day for my coffee.
You know, if you give that up for a year, you can shed 10 pounds.
I don't know that I believe that.
That's true.
I don't think I believe that. I think if I gave up cheese, if I gave up alcohol, obviously, never happening. Yeah.
Hey, do you remember the tomato soup diet I used to go on?
Yeah. And you did another liquid diet too. Anyways, yeah. Well,
I did that 2 weeks ago, and I dropped almost 10 pounds. Just under 10 pounds.
Just eating tomato soup.
Well, it's not tomato soup. It's a recipe, but it's a tomato based soup.
It's your soup.
All you can eat throughout the day.
Yeah, I've seen you do this. Okay.
So you kind of just eat the soup on day 1, and then you get a baked potato on day 2, and then by day 3 and 4, I believe you get to have a steak. You know, but it sheds all the. It's a good cleansing diet. It comes right back, but it's a good cleansing diet. You get rid of all the.
Yeah, I mean, other than the baked potato, that's very odd that would be on there.
Well, baked potato, and you have one day where you can eat all the beef you want. I mean, as many steaks as you want to eat.
Well, but again, I mean, that protein.
I went on a bike ride on day 3. I thought I was going to pass out when I got home.
Is that what you're doing now? Or are you back to biking?
No. That was. Yeah, I'm riding my bike pretty much 3 to 4 times a week.
All right.
Yep. You know, there's not really a good gym in the area other than Anytime Fitness, which that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. I just can't see.
You guys have like a Orange Theory or something like that around there?
No.
It's HIIT exercises. They do strength as well. I bet there is that in Hendersonville. I guarantee you there's an Orange Theory.
Yeah, Hendersonville is, I mean, it's a destination. I mean, it's 20 miles away, and that seems not that far.
No, it's far.
It's
No, that's a truck.
20. Yeah, it is a truck.
I mean, I live my life in literally a 6-mile radius. Everything. 6 miles.
Hey, here we're probably within a 3-mile radius if we can make it happen. Suzanne's the one that's got to travel so far to Hendersonville every day.
Well, for work,
tutoring. Yeah, for tutoring. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other conclusion I've drawn to here while we're talking on this and being taped is I need to have a straw for my wine and not take a big slug out of my wine.
First of all, no, you cannot drink. There's like something I don't think.
I'm just going to have one of those ball caps and put the glass up top there. Yeah.
You're ridiculous. I do love that you love your wine, Dad. Just drink your wine. Who cares?
You know, I never loved wine. That's a story in itself that we have to go to because it came out of the Dallas Stars and me taking a client to the Stars game. So bring that up next time. Yep.
Well, not next time, but when we get to that era.
Hey, just another teaser that came up yesterday that I've been thinking about quite a bit today. And then once I kind of watched the video was you mentioned the year 2015.
2015. What about it?
Mm-hmm.
Not a great year.
Well, I'm trying to piece what happened so tragically in 2015. And I don't need to spoil that right now. So why was it not a great year?
What did I say something yesterday specifically about 2015?
Yes.
And I said the words 20 or the year 2015.
2015. Yep.
Well, first of all, we're exposing my very poor memory that a day ago I don't remember.
Okay. Well,
but-
I thought it was my memory that was being exposed.
No, I guarantee you yours is better than mine. Guarantee you are going to feel really good about yourself. Well, I guess not to get too much away. No, I don't want to get into 2015 right now.
All right, that's good. I just, like I
Don't-
said, I was caught off guard with that date, so I was trying to do some research.
All right. Well, I'll help you get there. Today, though, episode 2
Yep.
that we are calling, this is the BC era, before children,
Mhm.
Kevin BC. So before though we get into your birthday, June 14th, 1955. Before we go there, I realized that I've never asked you about Grandma and Grandpa, which I think, not only the separation that you and I have had through, the divorce and the relo, but a bigger part of that to share is just, because we had such limited time, we spent that time doing really what you wanted to do with us, which did not include many visits to see family, your family. So I didn't, right? We didn't spend a lot of time with Grandma and Grandpa Clintic. There's one really good story that we'll save for that time. I'm sure you can imagine what I'm thinking of. But because of that, I just didn't have a very strong relationship with them. I didn't have a strong relationship with any of my grandparents because of us being in Florida and being so far away from extended family. We were very isolated in Florida, So I just was thinking, I'm like, I knew you were born in Indiana, random. And I know Grandma is from Missouri, which I know that because of just, again, the family there. Shane marrying Haley, who is from, Dexter, Missouri. So I want to start there. I would just a little bit about the history of William or Bill, as we called him, and Helen. And whatever you may know, high level.
Yeah, sure. And I want to kind of take what you just mentioned about not seeing, my mom and dad and realizing, that was more a geographical thing of being in Texas and having to travel to Virginia, which is a 2-day journey. And we need to come back to that because that's a very good observation. And yet at the time frame and the divorce, talking about shame yesterday ties together
to that. So we'll get to that. And and I think as now me living on the East Coast, being up here, being around so much of your, living so close to your sisters and Grandma, obviously I've now since developed a very strong relationship. And we've talked about that, me amongst my aunts and my grandma, just how they were sad about that missed time and missed opportunity. So we'll definitely dive into that. But yeah, for today, let's kick it off with as you called Grandma. What did you call Grandma? Yesterday, you said the matriarch,
maker of the mold, maker of the mold,
and that she is. So everybody loves Grandma. Everybody.
Yep, everybody loves Grandma.
Everybody loves Grandma.
Everybody loves Grandma, and when even you don't love Grandma or I don't love Grandma, everybody loves Grandma.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Dad, who was actually William Hendren McClintic, was born in 1930 in Chicago and grew up most in all of his life in Illinois, Peoria, Decatur, and stayed there through his school years until graduating and moving on and going into the service.
Where did he go to school? Like graduating from high school? I mean, he went right
graduating
from high school
Decatur High School
and then went into the military.
Yeah, I don't know that he went directly into the military, but he had not gone to college. He didn't go to college until after I was born in Evansville, Indiana.
Okay.
So anyway,
what branch of the military did he go into?
The Army.
Okay.
Army, and it was he wasn't. It was kind of at the end of the Korean conflict, but he did tours in Europe and traveled the world. Kind of why everybody would want to join the Army. Just had a good time running around doing his duties and this and that. And when he came back home, he moved to Evansville, Indiana, because his mom and dad had been relocated there based upon what Grandpa Mac was doing. Grandpa Mac actually sold farm equipment. So Illinois was a huge, kind of as Iowa, a huge corn crop. And farming state. So that's what Grandpa Mac actually did as his livelihood. So they relocated to Evansville. I was born there. Mom had graduated high school and moved directly to St. Louis and worked for the telephone company in St. Louis. And her dad said that he could join Aunt Vera. She was up there. Her mom's, my mom's sister.
Yeah.
So they went to St. Louis and worked for a couple years, and Mom kind of had an illness that she really got sick that created some sort of a internal infection, and Grandpa just immediately drove from Southeast Missouri and went and picked her up and brought her home. Had promised her when she wanted to go to St. Louis that she could, provided that she could stay healthy. I don't think there was any issues with regards to health, but somehow, some way, she had a tooth infection that just rendered an infection throughout her body. So
was she was she sick at home? Like, I guess to your point where you said you can go as long as you're healthy. Like, was there a reason for him to be concerned about her health then?
I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I just think something out of the, something kind of random just happened, and Grandpa dropped everything and went and grabbed her and brought her home. Told her she needed to come home because nobody was there to take care of her other than, I guess
Aunt Vera. Yeah.
And I really don't know to what relationship. They were always tight sisters, but in any event, brought her home, and Aunt Vera, as well relocated with the gentleman that she was dating, which turned out to be my Uncle Amy, to Evansville, Indiana as well. So Grandpa let Mom go to Evansville because, once again, Vera was there.
Okay.
So she recoups from the illness, heads to Evansville, and goes to work at the Old National Bank. Well, by chance, my dad was working at the Old National Bank. Dad was working in the repo division.
Okay.
He was out, following up on bad credit.
Oh, like taking people's stuff back.
And actually repoed many a car, driving them away. Shared many a stories of going in at night and hot wiring a car to get it back to wherever you needed to take it.
That's amazing.
Mom, interestingly enough, was working in the credit area as well. She was in charge of actually issuing invoices for credit cards.
Okay.
And I teased her when she told me this story. I said, they had credit cards back in 1955. And she said, well, interesting enough, they started that at that time to where the bank would go to like furniture stores or other stores in Evansville and set up this credit card type of a transaction,
which they still have today. That's always the thing.
Which they have today.
Do you want the card? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Mom was 4 years younger than Dad. She was born in Parma, Missouri, which is southeast, just south of the Dexter area. So Dexter was like going to Dallas for us versus
There's a place smaller than Dexter?
Oh yeah, there is. There is.
Oh my God.
And anyway, that's where they met and actually worked together. And it was pretty short lived. They met. Mom was 20. She graduated from college, but in Evansville, she was 20 years old, worked at the bank, and in 54 met Dad and went ahead and got married
quickly.
And then
I'm
quickly.
doing the math here. Okay, keep going.
I've done the math over and over, and we're just right there on the skinny. So
I mean, everyone's following this, right? Because your birthday's June 14th, 1955.
And they get married in September of 54.
Which means to have a baby in June, you would need to be pregnant by October.
Yep.
Right?
So it was one and done on the honeymoon, I guess.
Dang.
I don't know where they went. I'm sure it wasn't anything as good as Disney World, but anyway.
How could it be?
Yeah. So they married, and Dad, Mom made the comment to me that they got married, and Dad immediately enrolled the following Friday at Evansville University and entered college.
To get like a business degree, like he just working at a bank, like he just wanted to.
Well, he got a degree in industrial engineering, which is a different discipline
than what
they
you
had.
did.
Industrial engineering, but he went to school. I was quickly born. We actually lived on campus in married quarters.
I love it.
I guess the married, and they have those on a lot of universities.
Yeah.
And I've got pictures. I'll have to scan them and get them to where we can share them. But
yeah,
it's those farm structures that are semi-domed. They're round on the top.
Yeah.
And they use them to store hay, or they store farm equipment underneath them.
Yeah.
Those were actually enclosed on the front and the back, and that's what they used to build apartments for the college.
Wow.
Married couples.
Yep.
So that's what we lived in. Anyway, that's how they met. Cindy was born 2 years after I. She was actually in Evansville.
And so Grandpa would have still been in school.
Still in school.
So was he working while he was in school, or he worked and Grandma kept working?
No, he worked while he was in school and finished, and he graduated in December of 57.
Oh, wow. Okay.
By that time, Mom had me, and Cindy was being ready to, she was actually born in September of 57. So she had 2 children, and they moved to Mishawaka because he graduated and was employed by U.S. Rubber, which was a manufacturing of rubber products in Mishawaka, Indiana.
Okay. To exercise using his engineering degree. His
industrial engineering degree, which really is more about manufacturing processes and things like that.
Yeah.
Setting up efficiencies within the actual plant.
Right.
Kind of time management, plant management.
So he was like he was a
quality control
process guy, procedures, process.
Yep.
At his core. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So U.S. Rubber actually turned into what was known as Ball Band. And Ball Band made U.S. Rubber, that facility had been there during the war, and actually made a lot of rubber products for fuel tanks, for tanks and airplanes during World War II. I mean, that plant had been there for a long, long time, and a big producer of just rubber products. And they made sneakers, high top sneakers, which replicated somewhat similar to the Chuck Converse sneaker. They were the innovator of that style sneaker. It was called the Red Ball Jet, and it was a high top sneaker, had the round logo just like the Chuck Taylors did, and had the word Jet and a red horizontal stripe around the white sole of the shoe.
Did you have a pair?
I'd had a pair of those, and then they made the actual snow boots, the rubber snow boots that would buckle on the front, that you could put your feet in with your shoes on.
Oh yeah, okay.
We had those. They made rubber raincoats. They made all kinds of rubber type, at that time, just wearing and household products. So that was a part of what they did.
So moving to Mishawaka, first real job out of college, 2 kids, and that's where you started school.
Yep.
So when you moved there, you were 2 years old?
Yep.
Okay.
2 years old.
So you don't remember Evansville. That's like... Now, is Evansville closer to Notre Dame or Mishawaka?
Evansville is right on the Ohio River between Kentucky and Indiana.
Okay.
So Evansville for me and Nashville is probably about 2.5 hours away.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Mishawaka.
Pretty close.
Okay.
It's on the southernmost tip. You go across the river and you're in Kentucky. You go across the other way, you're in Indiana.
All right,
And
got it.
Evansville was a fairly large town at that time. And I've visited it many, many times, a handful of times, just in going back and seeing what Evansville was all about.
Yeah.
But
not really a place you remember.
No, I only remember just the fear of God being struck into me by Dad and Grandpa, because Grandpa died when I was 5 years old in 1960. Okay. So I never really had a relationship with Grandpa Mac, but a dear relationship with Grandma Marie.
My middle namesake, right?
Yep. So anyway, it was. I had a real fear. We lived in a high-rise apartment and in Evansville, and there was a basement area that had all the boilers. Remember, like your boiler in your room there in media, or the basement.
Oh, yeah.
This function. And there was a gentleman down there who was actually the kind of the handyman, the repair guy within the apartment, named Clint.
Uh-huh.
And for whatever reason, I was just fearful of that guy. That I got escorted down into the area that he actually worked in, and never met the guy, but it was just a dungeon-like dark environment.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to go there, and better yet, I didn't want to meet that guy. But that's the only thing I remember about Evansville, is that story of just being so fearful of getting down in the basement of the actual apartment building prior to moving into the married quarters on campus.
The married quarters.
So,
I love that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're in Mishawaka. Cindy's here. You are 2 years old. You start grade school in Mishawaka, and you stay in school there through
sixth grade
or sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
So give me the timeline of being. You're 2 when Cindy's born. Leslie comes when? Leslie's the third child, the second sister. She comes when?
In 59.
Okay. And
so
then,
she's just born, and then I'm in school in 60, and Teresa follows in 61.
So you guys are all basically 2 years apart.
It's
right?
the Catholic way. Catholic way.
Yeah. Well, it's all about, what do they call it?
Planned Parenthood.
No. No, what's the rhythm method, right? Is that what they?
That's right.
Catholic birth control, the rhythm method.
Yep. Yeah, there was no pill back then. It was all rhythm method.
And still used today amongst some Catholics, I think.
Oh, for sure. It's all about timing.
That's what they say. Well,
yep.
So all right. So tell me, like, you guys. I know this. I know that you grew up going to Catholic school.
Other than kindergarten, which was a public school.
Was it full day or half day? Full day or half day?
Half day. You know the biggest day of that year?
What a joke. Yeah. I don't know. Tell me.
Valentine's Day.
Why?
Because you got all these Valentines.
Oh God.
You got flooded with Valentines.
Oh God.
You knew who liked you and who didn't like you. So that was a cool day.
And you know how they do it now?
No.
I'll tell you, if you do Valentine's at school, you have to do one for everybody. So when you did it, you would probably say, well, I don't know. You may or may not remember that. Like you may have just said, no, I just want to give, a Valentine to Susie Q and Billy, because I like Billy. He's my buddy. And I think Susie Q is cool. Well, now you got to give them to everybody. Because like everything else in life, everybody's getting a ribbon. There are no losers, only winners.
A trophy. Got to buy a Gatorade for everybody. Yep.
Yeah. Anywho, I digress. Okay, so you go to Catholic school, except for elementary or kindergarten. Interesting that you two there have half-day kindergarten, because we have that here in Pennsylvania. And I think it's the biggest joke ever. I loathe half-day kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
It's a highly inconvenient time for working parents.
No doubt.
and I will say, it is not common in the South. So when I told my friends, oh my God, these kids are only in school half day, they're all like, they can't fathom that. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so you go to Catholic school. And I'm just curious. So is that obviously grandma and grandpa were Catholic. So
we all were. We were all baptized Catholic.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys are Catholic. So was that a time, like in that time, if you were Catholic, you went to Catholic school, or was there like a reason why they wanted you to go to Catholic school rather than just attend the local, public school?
Yeah. There was a reason. Obviously, we went to St. Monica's, and there was the church, and as a part of the church, there was an affiliated grade school. High school, you had to go across the river and down to St. Joseph High School, which was a big Catholic high school. But it goes back to the whole probably Catholic upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
You're raised Catholic. You have the ability, if you have the ability to go to school, being a parishioner at the school allowed you to go to school there. At that time, I don't know if there was any tuition involved with it, but typically there is.
Was there a financial hardship on your parents to have? I mean, four kids is a lot of kids.
Yep.
And so close together, all basically starting.
Sure.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, at Walsingham for 7th through 12th grade, it was a severe hardship financially. Here, we all went to Northside for kindergarten, and after that, we were all enrolled into St. Monica's for school.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what that cost. I'm sure whether it was just based upon you being a parishioner and funding in that form or fashion, I'm not sure. I can find out, but I don't know that it's that important. But
no.
In that, it was about, number one, and we talked about a little bit or mentioned the catechism yesterday.
Yeah.
It was about learning the Catholic upbringing and what you believed in and what the guidance was, and really the beliefs of the Catholic Church were indoctrinated into you.
Mm-hmm.
And kept you on a pace from, number one, being baptized at birth.
Yeah.
Number two, taking your first communion in second grade.
Yep.
Number three, in that same year or early the following year, going through confirmation.
Yep.
And that right there, based upon, you were baptized young because of its beliefs with regards to original sin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole topic unbeknownst that we need to tackle. But just the beliefs of that, you needed to be baptized in order to be accepted and that's a terrible definition of what it really is, but to absolve you of the sin that you were born with.
Right.
So there's,
So
again,
that obviously, if I'm taking from what you're telling me, what I take from this is it was very important to Grandma and Grandpa that that their children, not only obviously they continue to practice the religion that they were brought into, but they wanted you guys to be a part of that, to understand it and to live that lifestyle.
and they believed in it. Yeah, that's what they
Right.
believed in.
And still today, I mean, obviously.
And still today.
Right.
And still today, I have a real strong belief in that whole ideology as well. You know, Shane was baptized in the Catholic Church. You were baptized in the Catholic Church. That's and in these stories that we'll talk about, a lot of what happens in my life is just because that's the way it happens. It wasn't questioned. It wasn't thought twice about. It was just the way that I was brought up. Therefore, I knew this is the protocol that you go through.
You just follow.
You follow tradition.
You follow tradition. You follow the path. You follow
and you follow what you know.
The
what
guidance,
you know.
the plan. And I think, it's funny, and we can get into this later, you know, not baptized Catholic, not raised in the Catholic Church, raised going to a Presbyterian church. So obviously, you know, still under Christianity. But, you know, Mom and I have had many conversations lately about faith and religion, and, you know, kind of where I'm at with that. So I look forward to talking to you about that more, because I do think one thing about you that I feel like I know, not the depths of you know, your feelings, but I think I know well enough that you have walked you know, very close to God, to religion, and strayed away from, and come back and gone again. And I think you are back there now in your life in terms of just it playing an importance to you. So I look forward to talking about that more, you know, and just kind of how, you know, you've journeyed through that in life, and obviously just something that was such a huge part of your upbringing. And
yes, it was. And I think, you know, what's funny, and we can not spend a lot of time on this, but, you know, Mom was a converted Catholic. She didn't come into the marriage being Catholic.
Oh, which
your
like
mom was a converted Catholic.
Yeah.
And the conversations that she and I had in that whole pursuit or acknowledgement, or, you know, not probably very, looking back necessarily, that was difficult, I'm sure, for her. And it was difficult. It was a difficult time for me, because at that time that was very important, because through 12th grade, you know, as a senior, I mean, it was always, the church was always very important. We took a lot of pride in believing strongly in the message of Christ, or being a believer. And being 10 miles from Notre Dame University, who in the heck didn't want to be Catholic?
Right. Well, God. Yeah.
And that's kind of, that's very strange, and very, because, you know, not everybody that attends Notre Dame is Catholic, just like everybody that attended Walsingham Academy was not Catholic. But there was such a strong moral standard of how to live and be. And not that, you know, it's like any religion. Everybody pretends to be a Sunday Christian only to be a Monday bastard. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah.
So we're all in the same boat. And I think it's funny today, not to jump into politics, but how strongly Catholics are getting strung up for their beliefs and their ideology of what is believing in Christ, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but there's obviously a lot that I think over the last 15, 20 years that has played into that with what has come out through the church. And we don't need to dive into that. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it's in every church.
100%. I mean, every religion, anything. So yeah.
We're all men or we're all humans, and humans make mistakes, and just,
yeah.
We're not all men, but we're all humans. And better yet, not everybody is an angel, even though they may try to be or profess to be. So mankind is not pure of spirit all the time.
So if I take away what I take away the most from just your early childhood, and childhood is such a thing that, I give you credit for remembering what you do, because let's be real, like it was a long time ago, and it's hard to remember all those details. So I would say what I take away the most from that part of your life was just that religion was important, family was important, you and your sisters were close, very close. And yeah,
but I think it's and it's, pride is not a good thing, but I think there was a lot of pride that came with knowing you believe so strongly in anything or one thing. But, and I do have fond memories. I remember my first communion. I remember my confirmation. I remember learning how to recite and become an altar boy and learn Latin well enough to respond in Latin at the altar.
Yeah.
And at that time, the Catholic Church was not, the ceremony was in Latin. So everybody learned what the response was in Latin. And to be an altar boy was kind of like, it was a prize. You were granted a privilege of serving, number one, the Lord, number two, being in the altar area. And it brought a lot of reverence and satisfaction, to the point at that time we were going to mass every day in school.
Yeah.
We would have to fast ahead of breakfast to receive the Eucharist or communion, and then come over to school and have a quick, milk on Cheerios or cereal for breakfast. But, that's something that I relished and really wanted to do. I would get up on Saturday morning when I was old enough to ride a bike and ride to the church on Saturday morning and be the altar boy for Saturday morning service.
Oh, wow.
And then ride my bike home.
Yeah.
Sunday you were riding in a car with your parents.
With your family, but, right.
School, we would walk to school. And school was probably only mile and a half, maybe under 2 miles away. Block, 2 blocks down, 4 blocks down, 2 blocks to the right, and we're downtown Mishawaka, and we're at school.
Yeah.
So we would take the school bus only because it was fun to ride the school bus. We could have walked home, and we did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's all about the bus.
Oh, yeah.
All the good stuff happens on the bus.
They didn't have short buses back then, by the way. They were all full seaters. Yep. But yeah, it was very important, and it and that will come out in other stories. It will come out in you and mom meeting. It will come out in you and mom getting married. I mean, it's something that just it's something that today we think long and hard about those decisions. Back then, it was just it was just kind of a natural flow of life. You know. You find a girl, you love a girl, you get married, you move on, you have kids, and life's supposed to be,
and that's that. Yeah.
Supposed to be grand. Yeah. And the moral beliefs of all of that, it kind of channels you, into a way of life.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody thinks about premarital sex being an issue today. It's all about sex. So those were kind of big issues back in the day.
Sex sells, Dad.
Yep, it does. No doubt about it.
Wow.
And that's okay. That's fine.
I'm good with it.
Yep.
Well, that was good. I liked that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. Well, so, moving on, if we can. Are you good? Are you good to move on?
I'm good. Yep.
Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
I feel like I'm going to be
That's why
saying,
we're here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot. Thank you for sharing that. But we want to start, as part of our episodes, a segment that we were going to call "Don't Be Shy, We're Not," and that stemmed from, I think, what we are both a little anxious about and excited is to get feedback. Hearing what people have to say, whether it's questions on what they've heard, or knowing there'll be the opportunity to view this in video, asking what in the world is Jamie doing with her hair. I agree with Kevo. It looked way better yesterday. Whatever that may be, the comments, we're looking forward to those comments. We're looking forward to that feedback. So we thought that we would do that, right? Every episode.
Yeah.
We're going to incorporate that into part of the storytelling hour.
Sure.
You good with that?
Yeah, I am.
So what's our call? What are we asking, Kevo? What are we asking these people to give us?
Feedback. Input.
Yeah. We want your unfiltered comments, questions, whatever it may be.
Yep. Now's the time. We're 2 episodes, 1.5 episodes into it, and we need feedback. We want to definitely ring a bell, clamor a chime, do whatever we can to actually resonate with others, and
So we'll
entertain anything.
Yeah, so we'll take that at we're gonna have you guys submit those comments, questions, feedback. Can just be a statement, doesn't matter. At info@twoclicksinapod.com. That's 2 is in the number 2. And yeah, we'll share them. We'll read them here. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So bring it. Bring what you got. Don't be shy, because we're not.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dad, for today, for story time, I think we're good.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Next time we touch on what we'll be calling still in the BC era, Kevo goes to Virginia. And we'll touch on the move from Indiana to Virginia, and starting what would be called middle school to me through your high school there at Welsingham Academy.
Walsingham Academy.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. We'll hit on that next time. And
Yep.
all right,
Oh,
Kevo. Well, this was fun.
Good times.
Episode number 2 in the books.
In the books. That's
Shutting
right.
it
Peace.
down. Peace. Thank you for tuning in today. With so many podcasts out there, we are grateful you chose to spend your time with us.
And we'd love to hear from you. So send us your questions, comments, and feedback to info@twoclicksinapod.com, and we might feature your message in a future episode.
Also, don't forget to follow us on social and head over to our YouTube channel where you can watch the full episode live and in living color. You can find us at 2 Clicks in a Pod. That's 2, as in the number, clicks in a pod.
Well, James, until next time, love you.
Love you too, Daddy.